The Bourne Identity, the 2002 film that brought us Matt Damon as a memory-challenged super spy, was supposed to be an exhilarating journey through the world of espionage. Instead, it feels like a drawn-out game of hide-and-seek, with more plot holes than Swiss cheese. Let's dive into why The Bourne Identity might just be the most overrated action film of its time, and have a laugh at its many missteps. The plot of The Bourne Identity revolves around Jason Bourne, an amnesiac with impressive martial arts skills and a knack for getting into trouble. He's found floating in the Mediterranean with no memory but a bunch of handy microfilm embedded in his hip. Convenient, right? It's like starting a video game on easy mode with all the cheats enabled. From there, Bourne embarks on a quest to figure out who he is, while being pursued by various shadowy figures who apparently have nothing better to do than chase a guy who can't even remember his own name. The plot twists and turns through a series of European cities, each more stereotypically spy movie than the last. It's a whirlwind tour of amnesia-induced espionage that makes you wonder if the writers were more interested in collecting frequent flyer miles than telling a coherent story. Matt Damon's Jason Bourne is as charismatic as a wet blanket. His primary expressions range from confused puppy to angry goldfish, making it hard to root for him when you're not even sure if he knows what day it is. His ability to blend in and disappear would be impressive if he didn't look like he was constantly on the verge of a nap. Then there's Marie Kreutz, played by Franca Potente, who becomes Bourne's reluctant partner in crime. Her character arc involves going from desperately broke to desperately in love with a guy who might be a murderer, which is not exactly relationship goals. Their chemistry is less hot and steamy and more awkward first date. The villains in the film are a parade of generic bad guys, each more forgettable than the last. From Clive Owen's brooding assassin who looks like he's auditioning for a goth rock band, to Chris Cooper's Conklin who spends the entire movie looking like he just found out his latte order was wrong, the antagonists are as bland as a plain bagel. The action sequences in The Bourne Identity are supposed to be thrilling, but they're more disorienting than exciting. The film's penchant for shaky camera work means that every fight scene looks like it was shot by someone having a seizure. Watching Bourne take down a room full of bad guys is less impressive when you're too busy trying to figure out what's happening through the blur of rapid cuts and shaky angles. The car chase through the streets of Paris, a highlight of the film, is so chaotic that it feels like the director handed the camera to a hyperactive squirrel. Bourne's ability to maneuver a Mini Cooper through traffic is commendable, but the scene's constant jostling makes it hard to appreciate the choreography. By the end, you're not on the edge of your seat, you're just relieved it's over. The Bourne Identity is riddled with plot holes big enough to drive a tank through. For a guy with no memory, Bourne sure has a convenient knack for knowing exactly what to do and where to go. Need to escape a Swiss bank? No problem, just grab a guy's pen and suddenly you're a kung fu master. Need to evade the police in Paris? Just drive your Mini Cooper through impossibly narrow alleys without a scratch. The film also glosses over how Bourne manages to keep finding money, passports, and safe houses despite having no idea who he is. His ability to navigate the world of espionage with zero memory is nothing short of miraculous, making you wonder if his real superpower is plot convenience. The film tries to inject emotional depth through Bourne's struggle with his identity and his burgeoning romance with Marie, but it falls flat. Bourne's internal conflict over his forgotten past and violent tendencies is touched upon briefly but never explored in any meaningful way. It's hard to sympathize with his plight when he spends most of the movie looking like he's just remembered where he left his car keys. Marie's involvement with Bourne is equally unconvincing. One minute she's freaking out over being dragged into a spy chase, and the next, she's making goo-goo eyes at Bourne while they hide from assassins. Their romance feels forced and tacked on, like the writers realized halfway through that they needed a love interest but couldn't be bothered to develop it properly. In conclusion, The Bourne Identity is a film that's more entertaining for its unintentional humor than its action or story. Its plot is a tangled mess of convenience and cliché, its characters are flatter than week-old soda, and its action sequences are so chaotic they might as well come with a motion sickness warning. The film's attempts at emotional depth are shallow at best, leaving viewers more confused than captivated. So, if you're in the mood for a good laugh at a movie that takes itself way too seriously, grab some popcorn and settle in for The Bourne Identity. Just don't be surprised if you find yourself more entertained by the absurdity of it all than by any actual suspense or intrigue. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Quirky Critic signing out.